Agnes secretly lifts her skirt and jabs her own thigh with a twig. She fakes her first period, then runs to her mother Louise with a frightened face, showing her the bloodied clothes. Louise believes her completely and immediately takes her to the bathroom to help. That is exactly what Agnes planned. The moment Louise closes the door, Agnes rushes to a phone and opens the photo album. It is full of family portraits, different families, all smiling. Then Agnes, trembling, tells her mother the truth. Paddy, the man who invited them on this trip, is a serial killer. Those photos are pictures of his victims. Louise thinks Agnes is making it up, so Agnes explains everything. Earlier, while playing ball with Paddy's mute son Ant deliberately threw the ball out of the adult's sight. He pretended to go get it, but instead led Agnes to a storage shed. Using a key stolen from his father, he unlocked the door and revealed a hidden passage inside. They climbed down into a basement. What Agnes saw down there chilled her to the bone. The place was packed with household items from different families. Bags, clothes, phones of all kinds. Ant opened another photo album. More families, all different. But something was deeply wrong. In every single photo, Paddy and his wife, Ciara, appeared in the background. Agnes still did not understand. Then Ant flipped to a photo that included himself. He pointed at it, making clear that Paddy and Ciara were not his real parents. He pointed to his own tongue, opened his mouth, and made a scissor motion. Snip. That was when everything fell into place. Paddy and Ciara could not have children of their own, so they murdered a family and took their son. To make sure Ant could never tell anyone, they cut out his tongue. Then Ant pulled out one final photo. It was Agnes's family. They were next. Agnes went pale. She grabbed the camera and photographed all the evidence as fast as she could. To avoid raising suspicion, Ant slipped away to return the key, but Paddy had already sobered up. Luckily, he did not notice the key was gone. Ant thought fast. He got Paddy to carry him on his back and quietly hooked the key back onto Paddy's waistband while he was not looking. Back in the bathroom, Agnes kept up the act to hold Louise's attention. Now knowing the truth, Louise was horrified. She pulled herself together and called her husband Ben back inside, telling him everything in hushed tones. They had to act normal and find a way out immediately. What the family did not know was that Paddy had already grown suspicious. When he went to retrieve the ball, he noticed signs that the hidden room had been opened. He was watching them. When the family calmly walked out of the bathroom, Paddy and Ciara did not stop them, but Paddy's smile was wrong. Louise used Agnes's period as an excuse to leave early. Paddy and Ciara did not resist, but when the family reached the car, the tire was flat. They considered driving off anyway, but the moment Ben touched the car door, Paddy stepped in. He insisted the tire was too flat to drive on and that he would change it himself. To avoid looking suspicious, the family had no choice but to go along. Then Paddy asked Ben to come inside and help him grab the tools. Ben walked in and found a room filled wall to wall with sharp, heavy, dangerous tools. His heart nearly stopped. He braced for the worst, but nothing happened. Not yet. Paddy actually fixed the tire. Then came the goodbyes. Paddy hugged Ben, then moved to Louise. He pulled her close and started kissing her neck. Louise gritted her teeth and let it happen. She just needed to get out alive. Ant hugged Agnes quietly, and Agnes whispered a promise in his ear. She would come back for him. The family got into the car. Ben calmly asked Ant to open the gate, but before Ant could take more than a few steps, Paddy called him back and opened the gate himself with a remote. The family waved goodbye, breathing again, thinking the worst was behind them. Then Paddy shoved Ant straight into the water. They could not just drive away. Ben stopped the car and jumped in to save him. The moment he did, Paddy hit a button and the farm gate slammed shut. Ben dragged Ant to the shore and looked up to find Paddy standing there with a gun. Louise and Agnes were already pinned to the ground. All four of them, the family and Ant, were locked back inside the house. Paddy forced Louise to transfer all her money to him. He made them call their relatives back home and tell them they were going on a long off-grid trip so that when they died, no one would come looking. Louise played along to stay alive. But then Paddy pulled out a syringe of sedative, moving toward Agnes to stop her from crying. That was the last straw for Louise. She pulled out a snap knife she had kept hidden in her pocket. The moment Paddy moved to tie her up, she struck. She went hand to hand with Ciara next and ripped the shotgun right out of her hands. In a single instant, everything flipped. With Louise covering them, the family ran out of the house, locked the door from outside, jumped in the car, and floored it. Then another car came barreling straight at them. It was Mike, Paddy's accomplice. Before anyone could react, he raised his gun and blew out the car window. They reversed back in. They ran back inside and sealed every door and window. Meanwhile, Mike cut the lock and freed Paddy and Ciara, telling them exactly where the family was hiding. Louise managed to get through to the police on the phone before the line went dead. They barricaded the front door with furniture. That was when Louise noticed a floor plan on the wall marking a skylight on the roof. While they planned their escape, the lights went out. Patty's crew cut every single one. The hunt had officially begun. Ben spotted a hay shed outside. If they could set it on fire, someone would see the smoke and come. He lit a bottle, but the moment the window cracked open, Mike's bullet came flying in. Ben ducked. Louise fired back. Ben hurled the bottle. It missed the shed, bounced off the roof, and smashed directly onto Patty's car. The car ignited. Patty knew that once the fire grew, police would arrive. He told Mike they had 3 minutes to finish the job. They split up and closed in from 3 sides. Inside, Ben and Louise hid both children in a cabinet and told them not to come out no matter what they heard. Louise found a bottle of sulfuric acid. Ben grabbed a hammer. Patty's voice boomed from outside, taunting Ben, trying to get inside his head. Then the car exploded. Patty lost control, furious and humiliated, swearing the family would pay for it. But sounds on the roof pulled Ben and Louise back to focus. They had to split up. The moment they did, Patty was already through the front door. He tracked Louise to her room. She threw herself against the door, but it was not enough. He slammed through. She drove a knife into his arm, and he screamed, stumbling back. Then Ciara came around the corner with a gun. Louise grabbed the acid and ran. Patty and Ciara moved upstairs together. Patty heard breathing coming from a wardrobe and yanked it open, but inside was only a phone. The breathing was a recording. Louise came flying in from the side and doused Patty's entire face with the acid. She screamed at the children to run. They crawled out onto the roof, trying to slip away quietly. Then Mike stepped right out in front of them and fired immediately. Louise pulled the children down just in time. Ben came sprinting up and threw himself at Mike, but Mike was hardened and street tough. He overpowered Ben and had him pinned against the edge of the glass roof seconds from death. Louise came back, grabbed a hammer off the ground, and brought it down on Mike's skull. He dropped and did not get back up. Inside, Ciara was desperately trying to rinse the acid off Patty's face. Patty was howling in pain, but he knew the family would run while he was down. Through the agony, he told Ciara to go after them. The family was on the roof, about to climb down the ladder. They got one leg out the window, and Ciara was already there, armed and seething. Then Louise hit her from behind. Ciara went over the edge. Patty heard the scream and came tearing out of the bathroom. The family looked down from the roof. The ladder was gone. They were stuck, and Patty was coming. Ben looked down at the drop. He made a decision no one else wanted to make. Agnes shook her head. He jumped anyway. He landed hard, one leg taking the full impact. But he got up, he bit through the pain, stood, and propped the ladder back up. The other 3 climbed down. They were almost at the car when Patty appeared. He pressed the gun against Agnes's head and told Ben to drop his weapon. He looked down at Ciara's broken body below. He said he would not hurt Agnes. He would keep her. She would replace Ciara. Then he swung the gun toward Ben and Louise and fired. Agnes pulled out the hidden syringe and jammed it into Patty a split second before the shot could land cleanly. The sedative hit him hard and fast. He crumbled to the ground. Ben picked up the gun, aimed, then slowly lowered it. They would leave him for the police. But Ant just stood there, staring down at the man who had destroyed his life. He picked up a rock and walked over. He brought it down on Patty again and again. It was brutal to witness, but it was also the first real act of freedom Ant had known in years. The nightmare ended there.